Go Jackets.
What is going on, everyone, and welcome to WreckTalk. Been a second. Hope you're all doing well. You had a great Valentine's Day. I've got a new computer. I've got everything set up. I've even made some changes in how I record. And honestly, I just had to play with my new toy. I got a new graphics card, and I've just been going, frames. We need more frames. 400 FPS. That's been fun. Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I do want you to know I will be doing a live show on this channel with Bryce Coon of, I'm not even editing that out because I'm lazy, of the Crowded Booth. A week from this Friday, that's 2/23, 8 p.m., and we're going to be talking about expectations for the 2024 season. You know what I have to say about it. A lot of people not so happy with the old Wreck these days, and that's fine. There's literally a line of people right now outside of my door knocking to tell me I'm an idiot. This is nothing new. And I agree with most of them. I'm definitely not the smartest guy in the room. Good documentary, by the way, on the fall of Enron. Enron, the smartest guys in the room. Enough of your schizophrenia and dyslexia. Just talk what you need to talk about. If you haven't seen, Kelly Quinlan is the first one I saw report this on Twitter. I don't know if he was the one who broke the news. Kenyatta Watson is leaving Georgia Tech. His son played for Tech, grad transfer, went to Georgia State. More on that in a second. But his father, Kenyatta Watson, is leaving to become the director of recruiting, research, and strategy at Auburn. And make no mistake, this is, in my opinion, a huge loss for Georgia Tech. He's another one of these guys that has deep-rooted ties, especially in the city of Atlanta recruiting. I think he played at Boston College, came from Florida State to Tech. So he's got the Florida recruiting ties, the Atlanta, Georgia recruiting ties. There's a reason Hugh Freeze and Auburn hired him to be director of recruiting, research, and strategy. And it's because he's very good at what he does. And if you've been listening to me for any length of time or the live shows I've done, my prediction was 2025 is where we really see the return on investment and the coaches we've hired for recruiting. And we still could. And I think we still will. I think that's the year we might see a top 15 class, possibly even top 10 class with everything that we're doing, assuming that the product on the field continues to improve. Now, we're already seeing some dividends. We're landing a 2025 quarterback recruit. There's 4-star defensive ends that have listed us in our top 7 for 2025. This doesn't help that prediction, though, and this doesn't help us progress in recruiting, which is really recruiting and NIL are the two areas that Tech really has to improve mightily on. Like our defense needs to improve on the field, for Tech to take that next step up, for Tech to be at the top of the ACC or in the top 3 to 5 of the SEC perennially. We're not going to get there if recruiting and NIL don't take big steps up. So let's look at this SI article on it. Report, Kenyatta Watson leaving Georgia Tech to become director of recruiting, research, and strategy at Auburn. According to reports, Kenyatta Watson is no longer on staff at Georgia Tech, which is originally what Kelly Quinlan tweeted, and I was like, ooh, I even talked to Papa WreckTalk. I was like, that's a weird way to word that. I guess he just didn't know where he was going or could not say until now, but nothing odd there, just taking another job. There's Quinn Russell Johnson's tweet, Carl Reed Jr. Watson played a big role at Tech recruiting over the past couple of seasons. This is a loss for Georgia Tech. It will be interesting to see what head coach Brent Key does to try and replace the role that Watson held. And this is the thing: is if you've got money stowed away in the coffers somewhere, and it's hard to hire at this point in the cycle, but you need however much money you can spend, call in every favor you have to try and at least replace what you had with Kenyatta Watson. That's going to be pivotal. This is from his bio at Georgia Tech. Watson came to the Flats from the ACC rival Florida State, where he served as the Seminoles Director of Player Relations for 9 months from July 2021, March 2022. In his role at Georgia Tech, he will be heavily involved in Tech recruiting efforts, evaluating both high school student athletes and those that have entered the transfer portal. 2 huge things to get right as a program. And look at our talent evaluations. 2 freshmen All-Americans, Ethan McKinney and Eric Singleton Jr. And we've also had, just on the offensive side of the ball with the portal, Haynes King, historic season at Georgia Tech. And I don't know to what degree he was involved in that, but I can guarantee you he was involved in all of that. Just with like Jamal Haynes, I'm trying to think of the transfers that really, look at the shining spot of the defense. The linebacker, the redshirt freshman linebacker, his name's escaping me right now, and that looks really bad. But all I'm saying is the guy has done a fantastic job in his role at Georgia Tech. I've never talked to the guy, but from everything I've heard, fantastic dude. He served as director of football operations and recruiting for the ultra successful football program nearby Grayson High School. That's where the tight end Fox that we lost to Central Florida, that's where he went to school. That's a fantastic place to have an in. Also where his son went was Grayson. During his 5 years at Grayson, from 2014 to 2018, he helped nearly 120 football student athletes earn collegiate scholarships. Additionally, he served as coordinator for the Under Armour Middle School All-American Game and UA Next Middle School Camp Series, as well as director for the Adidas Middle School Showcase, Rivals Next Gen Showcase, blah, blah, blah. He's done a ton of stuff, especially for younger kids. Watson was wide receiver return specialist at Boston College from 93 to 96. Caught 93 passes for 1,215 yards, amassed a total of, he played at Boston College, Big East. Yeah, this is a big loss. And I do agree with the article. It's going to be interesting to see. Maybe when we talk to Bryce, he will have some knowledge of this a week from this Friday. It's got me worried. So I've talked about the defense that has me concerned. Now on a major piece of your recruiting arm is leaving for Auburn. And Hugh Freeze is a piece of trash human being. Hugh Freeze had issues at Liberty before he went to Auburn. Like the issues he had has followed him wherever he's gone. It's not arguable that he's a degenerate person. Personally, here's what you can also say though: fantastic coach. Urban Meyer, bad dude, great coach. Hugh Freeze, bad dude, great coach, and great recruiter. That he sniped Kenyatta Watson from us tells you Kenyatta Watson is doing something right at Georgia Tech. Now, his son has transferred to Georgia State. Also, Zach Gibson transferred to Georgia State. And this is something Papa Rec told me tonight. Georgia State head coach Sean Elliott joined South Carolina staff as their OC, I believe. Very bizarre. He had done a great job at Georgia State. In my opinion, and I could be wrong, he was on track to be a Power 5 head coach. And I'll just read through some of this. Another FBS head coach is leaving for a coordinator and/or position coaching job in college football. Georgia State's Sean Elliott has agreed to return to South Carolina as tight ends coach and run game coordinator. Weird that you would take that kind of demotion. They're not Power 5. Georgia State is a Division I program, though. I almost feel like he would probably take a pay decrease, especially at South Carolina. Quote, "This was not a professional move. It was a personal move," Elliott told ESPN. "We've made it work for 7 years with my family still living in Columbia, and I even thought about not coaching this year. I had promised my daughter that I would be there for her senior year of high school, and when this opportunity came to go back to South Carolina and coach again, it was something I couldn't pass up. I've always loved South Carolina." I'm not going to read through the rest of this, and I'm not saying that's not true. I can almost guarantee you there's more to this, though. I can almost guarantee you. In fact, I feel like he probably had major differences of opinions with the administration at Georgia State. Why do I bring this up, though? Why should anyone care? Because now I can almost guarantee you Kenyatta Watson's going to end up at Auburn. His dad's there. Because this coach is leaving Georgia State, everyone on that team gets another free transfer. I don't care how many times you've transferred before, you get to transfer without penalty again. Hate it for Zach Gibson, too. He goes to Georgia State. He's a Georgia guy. Now the guy's leaving. Does Zach Gibson transfer out? Does he go to maybe Georgia Southern? Kennesaw? I have no idea. Really bizarre, though, to me that a coach, and maybe it is just that he promised his daughter he'd be there for her senior year in Columbia, South Carolina. Also weird to me that you wouldn't move your family. I get you don't want to just look. Being the family of a coach is it's almost like being a military brat, where you're just constantly moving a lot of times. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. I think this is a huge loss. We've got to get this hire right, and we're in a horrible spot in the coaching carousel, the coaching cycle, to make a hire. That's why I'm saying whatever money you got to spend, go grab somebody. Take it. Take somebody. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Be looking out for that live show coming out a week from this Friday. You guys have a good one.